Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 138 people in 9 different countries. This is the second healing in the set of 3 called the June 2025 triplet set. And the theme for all the healings this month is heal heart fatigue and increase enthusiasm and motivation. So it's going to be awesome. Thank you. So let's start talking about what we're going to do today. All right. So, like I said, we want to, what is heart fatigue? I should, define it again, just in case you didn't see the last live stream description, explanation before last healing. Heart fatigue is like when your heart feels heavy, maybe physically, but more like psychologically, mentally, emotionally, that kind of a thing, where you feel like you're just not as uplifted as you would like to be. I'm calling that heart fatigue. So it can be an extreme state of heart fatigue, like you feel totally hopeless, or you're numbed out, or just like somewhat heart fatigue, where you just don't feel, enthusiasm and motivation. You just kind of like meh, So that's all like different, severity levels of heart fatigue. And yes, heart fatigue is a term I made up, but that's okay. So today what we're gonna do with that is sort of think more big picture. Like, people use the term the universe a lot in spirituality, and I don't that much. I think the universe, sometimes people can kind of be like overly vague and not really, a lot of times my stuff is really specific and concrete. So when I use the term the universe today, I actually mean something pretty concrete. I mean the planet Earth that we are on and its auras. Okay, so it's like an Earth-specific thing. It's not like all planets and all creation and blah, blah, blah. I mean like the Earth's universe. But I'm not going to say that every time. I'm just going to say the universe. But that's what I mean, is specifically the planet Earth, all the cool vibes on it, some not cool vibes on it, and its aura. So that whole ecosystem there, that's what I'm calling the universe today. So I think it's good to, today what we're going to do, and I think it's beneficial, obviously, that's why we're doing it, is to be aware of the Earth, but then also be an individual. And kind of blend those two approaches where, you're an individual, you have individual goals and opinions and views and all that. You're not just going to like be a big soup with everything else. You're going to be unique, but you're going to kind of be aware of all the forces, and work with the normal flow of everything as opposed to against it. There's a lot benevolent that's benevolent in the Earth's universe field, in the Earth's field, in the universe. Like oceans are super cool, trees are super cool, whales are super cool. Yeah, there's a lot of super cool stuff. There are, of course, lots of angels. There's, lots of growth happening and miracles and a lot of beauty, right? And a lot of compassion, right? And there is also, you know, a lot of brutality and a lot of, a lot of that though is like invasive forces that channel through humans, so it's not that I wouldn't say humans are the root of all evil, but humans can either, be benevolent and compassionate. I almost mushed those two words. Or they can channel darkness, and be quite brutal and cruel, right? And so I think sometimes as you experience cruelty and abuse, it's out of response to that you could put up like walls, at the edge of your space that are rigid, and they're like to keep out the bad stuff, but of course that doesn't work, and it super backfires, and it just attracts more of like that energy that you put out there, like, rah, get away, so that's not good. So I think it can get to the point where then if you have so many, I'm going to call them stress walls or resistance walls up, that you can't, it dulls your perception of all the good things, like that you do have some people that are supportive towards you, or you do have, of course, angels that are always trying to help and guide you. And so sometimes the stress walls are, they're always in the way, but sometimes they're so in the way that you literally cannot perceive anyone's good intention towards you, even if it's there, and you only can see the negative, the malevolent intentions that people have. And that can be a problem in many ways. Just the mechanics of it, having anything rigid weakens your auras. And so then, since there are people channeling malevolent intentions and, invasive energies, when energy gets thrown at you, if you have hardness, it breaks more easily than if you have flow. Flow is very strong. Flow is as strong as you can get. So, even just from a mechanical perspective, you can see why these rigid stress walls are a problem, right? But then also it just affects how you see the world and what you can see in the world. So it's not that, the world is all roses and butterflies, but there are a lot of them in the world, and it would be nice to perceive them. and it can strengthen your heart, especially, which is especially important if you have experienced abuse and trauma that you have not fully healed yet. Being able to feel the butterflies and bunnies and miracles and angels is important. So that's one thing we're going to do, is melt away hard trauma, stress walls, resistance walls, whatever. And we'll use gold light. So, if you're not ready to release them all and melt them all, then they all won't melt. Just whatever ones you're ready to melt will melt. So you don't have to worry that he'll be forced to be happy too quickly. And that's important because, if you have experienced trauma, you want to feel like you're in control. You don't want to feel like you've lost control, so that's another, reason why I'm pointing out that we're using gold light. So whatever you don't want to let go of will stay with you. This is not like a forcing in any way. But like, if you can be aware of all the growth and change and just the way things are flowing, on the earth, and how they're evolving, and you can sort of incorporate that knowledge into what you're doing so that you kind of collaborate with the universe as opposed to fighting it. And yes, there are malevolent, invasive energies on the earth. So wouldn't you want to fight those? You could. But I think you could fight them in a more wise manner that actually might be more effective. Sometimes spiritual stuff is kind of ironic. And so I think if you're more aware of, you know, all the forces and you have your separateness, you can kind of, it's like many dances are already happening. And so when you dance, it would be smart to know what's already happening so that you can kind of, you know, harmonize with what's already occurring. So I hope that makes sense. So it's not that you can't, you know, I think that you can, you know, make a difference and stuff and create change in a way that's a ripple effect beyond yourself. But I think you know, you don't have to be self-sacrificing about it if you're aware of, you know, sort of how the waves are going already, then you can kind of be smart about it. Like when I was a kid, I would be at a beach that had big waves, and we would stand in the water, and like the big wave would come, and you duck under the water, like right before the wave comes, and then you know you hold your breath, you duck under the water, and then the wave passes you, and then you go up, and it's like, I don't know why, it just feels like kind of exciting. Because she didn't get clobbered by the giant wave. So I think, you know, if you could be aware of the waves, you know when to duck, and you know when you can ride a wave, and, you know, like in January, you know, I like riding that wave. You know, like in January, a lot of people think about positive change, and everybody's thoughts and intentions about positive change and creating positive change in their life does create a nice wave. And, you know, I ride the heck out of that. That's fun. That's like, you know, a good thing. But so, you know, it's like if you can see the waves, then you can know when to duck and when to ride, and, you know, and maybe, you know, yeah, you expend, you know, intention and focus as well, and, you know, create yourself, but it's like being knowledgeable, it just makes what you're doing more productive and less futile. So I hope that makes sense. So we're going to work that within energy healing. So I don't want to be too specific about the techniques. I mean, the one technique that I can say is, you know, we'll be melting walls that represent, you know, your trauma walls, your stress walls, your resistance walls that you're putting up that are blocking, lessening your awareness of like all the great stuff in the universe, like miracles and cool plants growing and little baby ducks and, you know, beautiful cleansing oceans and gorgeous majestic trees and stuff, you know. So because you making walls like that, it doesn't keep out the bad stuff. If anything, it draws the bad stuff to you, but it tends to just weaken you. So then if and when the bad stuff, you know, starts aiming at you, then you're not as strong. So we don't want that. I don't want that. I would suggest you might not want that. So that's the gist of today. It'll be fun. And within a day, I will make, possibly actually pretty soon after the healing this time, I will make chapters. Because if I can, I want to be out gardening when the sun goes down on my garden and we get some shade. So we'll see if I can. Normally it's like I don't even want to think about work after these healings, but we'll see if I can restore very rapidly in order to do the timestamps and chapters quickly. We'll see. All right, cool. So I'm going to look at chat comments. I actually don't have any chat comments. That's kind of weird. Maybe everybody is off doing something. That would be nice. Let's see. Is anyone even watching? People are watching. They're just not saying anything. On my husband's stream, we call those lurkers. Lurkers. So hi to the lurkers. All right. There's no chat comments right now. It's my lurkers. Fine. I'll say my own weather and my own location then. My weather is, oh, yay, someone converted from being a lurker to being a chatter. Hello. Can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Alrighty, maybe I can get some more people to say hi. We'll see. I love the lurkers too, but chatting is fun. Reading chat comments is fun. Oh, and if you could give this live stream a thumbs up, that is always helpful. So if you could please give it a thumbs up, that's my thumbs up for you. You're awesome. Oh, yay. Someone converted from being a lurker to a chatter. Hi, Janet, lurking while recovering from hip surgery. Well, hello to you. Thanks for the greeting. I appreciate it. Yes, so I am broadcasting from Olympia, Washington, Washington State in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And we are going to get up to supposedly, I want to say like 92 or something today. We'll see. But that's pretty warm for us. So today and tomorrow are supposed to be near 90 something, which in centigrade, 95 would be like 35 degrees Celsius. For us, that's pretty warm. Not unheard of in the summer, but sort of usual. You get more mild weather. All right. So there's that. So I'm going to do 3 minutes of quiet to finish my prep. And towards the end of that, I'll go like that as I start the healing. So when you see me go like that, that's how you know I start the healing. And I'll heal for maybe a minute without talking, but then the whole rest of the time I'm talking as I heal. So you could use it as an all-level self-healing walkthrough if you wish. If you're a motivated newbie or even all the way up to a super duper advanced person, you should be able to find some good stuff if you want to heal yourself at the same time. Of course, if you purchase the healing from me, you don't have to heal yourself at the same time. You could do whatever you want. Take a nap, clean your house, whatever. Hang out by the pool. What else? Oh, I should do sales stuff first. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so jwhealing.com is my website address. And on my website, you could purchase a subscription, so you get all the healings every month, and you pay automatically, or you could buy one at a time, one set of healings at a time. So the next set of healings is the June twin set, which is on Thursday, June 19th, and Sunday, June 22nd. Healings. So you could purchase that on my website if you want. Please don't wait till the very last minute, because it's energetically easier for everybody if there's just more time when it's just sort of set and done. And you could also purchase July healing sets right now on my website. And August sets come out onto the payment page in like 7 days on the 15th of June. Always new sets come out on the 15th. And if you wanted to get my news email so that you get that reminder on the 15th that new sets are up, you can email me, janet@jwhealing.com, and just ask to be on my news email list. Hey, Janet, I can see and hear you. Thank you so much. Some of my lurkers are no longer lurking. They are saying hi. How nice. Okay. So cool. So now we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet, and then we'll get going with the healing. Okay. So let's unblock hand chakras a little bit more. Hand chakras, you have a hand chakra in the palm of each hand. You also have fingertip chakras. So those chakras, hand and fingertip chakras, those are great to use for healing because the energy comes outward from them, and it's real easy to direct the energy to, what you want to heal. And so you set your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color with your intention. You don't have to see energy yet to do any of what I'll be doing today. So once you set these chakras to metallic gold color, then that's the energy they're generating, which is good for unblocking and repairing and healing. So then you can make a copy out in front of you of whatever you need to heal. So in this case, we could start with your shoulders and your arms and your hands. And you want to melt away any hard objects. Also your neck, shoulders, arms. So, you could kind of pop out any hard objects and repair the gashes from those hard objects. Just pop out the hard objects, repair the gashes, hold light. With the neck, you could comb back behind the neck a little bit. We're going to do a lot of behind the head stuff later, but you could just, when you're doing the neck, you could just comb behind there and just, the angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my neck, shoulders, arms, and hands? So again, that's asking your angels, and you do have angels, even if you didn't know. They say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are messing with my neck, shoulders, arms, and hands? All right, good job. So grounding is very important. Let's do that. So you can get rid of your old groundings, make new groundings if you want. Make them both red or orange or yellow. So both plural groundings, because your physical body and your spirit are not the same thing, and so they need they need their own groundings. So you can make both of them, make both nice and wide as all your auras, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And bring up your groundings as high as your third chakra. Your third chakra is below your sternum bone, right below your sternum bone, or your sternum, which is a bone. So again, use gold light for your hands to comb through your groundings. And you want your groundings to be really fast, downward flowing, like a waterfall everywhere. And sometimes it's easy to get little traffic jams, little bunches of rocks and energy blocks in your grounding. Energy blocks that look like rocks, your grounding. So just melt the energy blocks away. Using gold light from your hands, melt away the blocks. Sometimes you can have invasive beings in your grounding, but they move away when you're trying to clear your grounding, and then they'll get ready to come back later. You can just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in my grounding or were in my grounding? Take a deep breath while your angels do that for you. Indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your grounding all the way down to the core of the earth, and you melt away any connections to other people from your grounding, going into your grounding. So maybe your grounding is branching up to them, their grounding is branching up to you. It doesn't really matter. Just melt all that away, so that, because you don't need to bond in pain with people. Just like let them have their own grounding. That'll be most efficient for them, and you can have your own grounding. You can have hard objects sticking out of your grounding that someone threw there. Just melt those away or pop them out and repair that part of your grounding. All right, good job. Hello to all my chatters that are saying hi. Thank you very much. All right, I will read those comments out loud later. Okay, so we're going to be repairing your auras all at the same time, which is fun. And then we're going to make sure we get your auras repaired up top. So we'll do that extra, but first we'll just do all of them at once. So you can imagine a copy of all your auras out in front of you and comb through them. So your 17 auras, physical body aura, astral body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi energy is strong boundaries energy. So just comb through all your 17 auras. And you want to check for rips, if any rips exist in any of your 17 auras. If so, then you need aura repair. If there are no rips, you could just comb through your auras and use lots of gold light and work on unblocking them more, which is always helpful. Strengthening them more, extra gold light. But so let's repair the rips with composite copy technique. So you imagine an image of a rip and you say, okay, with your intention, you say, okay, well, this represents all the rips in all my auras. So as I repair this rip, I'm going to be repairing all those rips, right? So first you want to clean out the rip, get rid of any invasive energy or hard objects in there. And then the repair works pretty well after that. So you got your composite copy rip, fill it up with sticky gold wax from your hands, which is gold light that sticks to everything that's not you and forms a big lump. And then you just lift out all that stuff that's not you and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk at once. Angels, here you go. So what is that junk? Hard objects, invasive people, invasive beings. Lift all that out. Angels, here you go. So then you can use gold light to get as deep as you can. So the repair process that's going. All right, so that probably repaired most of your rips, if not all. So we will do one more time for any leftover rips. So just imagine a composite copy rip and say, okay, well, this represents any leftover rips. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk. Angels, here you go. Use gold light to repair. All right, good job. So you can redo your gold buffer zones. And those are big gold flowy force fields that you can create and attach to the outer edge of your physical body aura and your astral body aura. You can have leftover aura hardness either in the outer surface of some of your auras, or like a couple layers of in a certain part of one of your auras. You can have hardness. So you could put copies of all your leftover aura hardness out in front of you and melt it all away with gold light. So again, put copies of any remaining aura hardness that you have out in front of you. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then go ahead and melt away the leftover aura hardness. Comb through everything, all your auras. Your physical body and your astral body are inside your auras, so you can comb through those too with gold light. The gold mesh spheres within the Wei Qi auras, I think I use so much gold light that people don't need much repair of the gold mesh spheres in your Wei Qi auras, but I'll just mention them just in case. So each Wei Qi aura has 3 gold mesh spheres, an inner one, a middle one, and an outer one. And they generate the gold light that is what fills up the Wei Qi auras. And that gold light just makes a big, strong, nice buffer, but it also gets sent towards the physical body and the astral body, and it nourishes the meridians of the physical body. So you can make sure you don't have any rips, gaps in your gold mesh spheres. You could do like a composite copy for any gaps in your, any rips in your gold mesh spheres and repair the rips in your gold mesh spheres. All right, good job. Okay, so first we'll do repairing and unblocking your creative rings, and then we'll throw in some work on your 7 astral body chakras and your 7 physical body chakras, which are both along the spine. And we'll align them, make sure they're not all out of whack, or, you know, just let them align with each other. And then after that, we'll do chakra repair. But first, let's get this done. So creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3. They are part of your astral body energy system, and they generate lots of gold light. So you can imagine those creative rings out in front of you and repair and unblock them, melt cords. Use gold light from your hands. The flaps, if they stick out, you don't want them sticking out, but that's what they look like if they stick out. So a top-down view right there, that would be flaps sticking out. Open. So, and that happens if you have pairs of cords from beings or people that are sending their energy in, and it irritates the ring and it pops out the flaps. And that makes it easier for other beings and other people to cord. So it kind of can snowball. So we don't want that. So just melt the cords, unblock, so that those flaps can relax and fall shut completely. So then your energy can go through the rings, and the rings can do their work and generate gold light, and it's all good. And you might have hard objects stuck in those creative rings, so you can just sticky gold wax the whole thing. Sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands. It sticks to whatever's not you. So just put that all around your creative rings so it sticks to any hard objects or invasive beings or invasive people. Drag out all the junk with the wax. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax your creative rings. Drag out the wax and the junk. Angels, here you go. Okay, so then this is the chakra alignment part. So just imagine your creative rings, 3 gold creative rings, and then 7th chakra, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I do this just to remind you of how they're oriented. So 7th chakra is oriented this way, although it's much, much smaller in there in the top of your head. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way with the round opening in the front and the round opening in the back. Right, so just imagine your creative rings and your 7 chakras of your astral body and your 7 chakras of your physical body. Ideally, they would fit inside each other perfectly, because you'd be perfectly present, but that may not be the case. So just imagine them however they are. But Wash out anything that's not you. You can use sticky gold wax on the whole thing, so creative rings and all your major chakras. Have the wax stick to anything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Move the wax out with the junk. Angels, here you go. Breaths. Oh. Gold wax, your creative rings, and your major chakras. Move the wax out with all the junk. Angels, here you go. And just a little individual unblocking of the 7th chakras. And gold light there. Unblock the bottom of the 7th chakras because energy flows from the bottom of your 7th layer all the way through your body up into the 7th chakra and then out the top. So you get a lot of energy blocks accumulating right here, and it creates a pressure that's not helpful. So just imagine like a stack of hard energy blocks underneath here if you have them, and melt them away. Gold light. So aligning the chakras is like you get your 7th chakra right where you want it, just with lots of gold light. You can sort of feel like it clicks into place. And then 6, heal it until it clicks into place under the 7th. 5, let it click into place. 4, let it click into place with enough gold light and unblocking. 3, heal it enough so it clicks into place. 2, 2nd chakra, which is emotions and sexuality. Feel it enough so it clicks into place. 1st chakra at the base of your spine. Feel it enough so it clicks into place. Alrighty. Okay, so let's do chakra repair and unblocking now. Which, you know, it's debatable. Maybe we could have done chakra repair first and then chakra alignment. But whatever. Oh man. A repair. Ah! There we go. I can type, really. Okay, so we're going to repair all your major and minor chakras at the same time because we can. So this is the basic chakra shape and open cylinder. So you make an image of an open cylinder, have it represent all your chakras, major and minor, of your body and spirit. So every energy center that you have, right? And including all the cool acupuncture points, which are minor chakras, just because they're not the major 7. Blah, blah, blah. Talk, talk, talk. Gold light, melt cords, melt energy blocks, repair damage. You can lift out the blocks, lift out as many energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now and melt them away. Lift out the blocks, melt them away or blow them up. Lift out the blocks, melt them away or blow them up. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my chakras, can you please recycle them? You can also say, too, angels, if there are any being tunnels in or near any of my chakras, can you please recycle them? Recycle all the beings that came through the tunnels and recycle the tunnels. Fill it all up. Lift out the blocks, melt them away with gold light from your hands. Lift out the blocks from your chakras, melt them away with gold light. And chakras have flaps too around the round opening. So you don't want them to be popped out like that. You want the flaps to be shut, like relaxed and shut, so that your energy can go through, but it's harder for people to sink a pair of cords into the outer surface. So just keep relaxing your chakras, melt cords, unblock. Those flaps can fall shut. All right, good enough. Okay, so let's do this. So this is the 5th essential. It's basically good karma windows and whatever else I want to throw in with it. So usually base of skull points. They're acupuncture points in the base of your skull area. They're so cool to work. And of course the area behind those base of skull points. So what are good karma windows? They're triple frame windows. They're part of your astral body aura. And if you get them nice, life is better. So nice meaning repaired and unblocked. So it's just you. So that's what a triple frame window looks like. So they can be different colors. They'll be the color of your energy in each astral body aura layer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right behind the base of your skull. 1, 2, 3. So just comb through your good karma windows with gold light and use the gold light to melt away anything that's not you, including hard objects that may have gotten thrown into that area. Melt away you. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in or around this area, can you please recycle them? You can make a red grounding just for your base of skull area. So a grounding that comes all the way up from the core of the earth just into your base of skull area that is red. And base of skull area for both your astral body and your physical body. So 2 custom groundings, red groundings for this area. One for the base of skull of your astral body and one for the base of skull. And just comb through, let yourself release and let go of anything that is burdening you or blocking you up in that area. Let it go down to the core of the earth. And you could have energy that's already kind of worked its way in pretty well. And so even if you repair up, it doesn't quite pop out yet. So you can imagine that energy maybe like weeds in a garden or like a rope. And it came through the windows and it's anchored into either your base of skull points or your upper chakras. But that's fine. It's easy for you to get it out. Just freeze it with gold, surround it in gold light, loosen it up, and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So freeze all that invasive energy, surround it in gold light, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze it, surround it in gold light, loosen it up. Angels, here you go. And your base of skull points, I'm going to show those. There they are. So these are traditional Chinese medicine meridians in the diagram there. And so base of skull points, there are 2 rows of them, 2 horizontal rows, one at the level of the top of the earlobe, one at the level of the bottom of the earlobe there. So go ahead and repair all those meridians and all those points in your base of skull area. You can comb from within your head outward towards the back of your auras. Drag out anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle them? Deep breath. And then it's just energy blocks and cords from people. So just melt the cords from people. Going into the blocks, melt everybody's energy out, melt your own energy out of these blocks so that they melt fully. And if they don't melt fully, then you could blow them up eventually. Or right away, once you get people out. Get people out first and then blow it up. Otherwise, it might be too jarring for whoever was in there, and they might whack you and like a little backlash. Which, you know. Can kind of be time wasting because then you got to repair. So it's easier to just wash them out first and then blow something up. So comb through your head, outward, drag out everything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle the invasive beings plugged into here? And it's just a bunch of blocks with cords from people. So melt the cords from people away. Melt the people out of these blocks. Melt yourself out of the blocks. At that point, they may melt fully. If they don't, you can blow them up. Couple deep breaths. Your shoulders, you have V. There's like a V area from like where your neck meets your shoulders outward into all your auras, and you can comb through and unblock that V area. Pull light from your hands. Might want to do a little gentle neck stretching if that's okay for your neck. All right. GV meridian, that's in the diagram there. That's the one in the diagram, it's gray, although, you know, that's just because each meridian needs a different color in the diagram. So red is a great color for any meridian, vibrationally speaking. So just use gold light, and you want that GV meridian, the one that goes up the midline of the back and hooks around and in the roof of the mouth. You want that to be red and flowy. So just use lots of gold light and melt away anything that's not you. Repair. All those little dots, those are acupuncture points, which are chakras. So, and with meridians, the chakras fit within the meridian itself. So to keep the energy flowing. The direction of flow for the GV meridian, you don't really need to know in order to heal it, but it's going upward from the crotch up the back and hooks around to the roof of the mouth. But just keep relaxing, comb outward in the auras around GV 15 to 20. GV 20 is in the top of the head. 15, 16, and 17 are base of skull points for the GV meridian. 15 and 16 are real close together on the diagram there. base of the skull in the center. 15 GV, 15 GV, 16. GV20 is in the head, in the top of the head. GV20 is this oriented this way because, you know, the meridian's going that way. So comb outward in all the auras around GV meridian, GV 15 to 20 in particular. Back of the head to the top of the head. So behind GV 15, 16, and 17 there, those base of skull points of GV meridian, just comb through them and outward, gather up any energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Breath, melt people out, melt their cords out of these blocks. Everybody's energy out, melt your own energy out, and melt the block. Couple deep breaths, breathe all the way down to your toes. Alrighty. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, so we just finished the 5 essentials: grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, and good karma window work back here. So this is the first overtly theme related thing we're doing today. Melt resistance walls. So I explained it in the before the healing started. What that is. So we're just going to do it now. Basically, it's a response to stress. It's not a healthy response, but it's a very common response that people go into resistance and they're like, they kind of put up these hard walls, and that can block angel help. It can also block your awareness of what's good and kind and helpful and supportive and miraculous in the world around you, which only makes things worse. So just imagine you can call them stress walls, trauma walls, resistance walls, whatever, you know, but just walls that it's just a reaction to the stresses that you're under and have been through. And just imagine those resistance walls that you have and melt them with gold light. In a way, it's kind of like, you know, when the archaeologists go to like the North Pole and they do an ice sample and they find, you know, evidence of what the Earth's atmosphere was at different times in history by looking at the ice. It's kind of like that. These are like your ice, they're like ice walls, and it remembers the trauma and all the stress that you've been through. And it colors how you see the world and how you see your own potential, and you know, it just mucks things up. So you know, it's better to just keep the wisdom, but not actually keep, you know, little preserved versions of all the junk you've been through. So go ahead, imagine your resistance walls and melt them away. Sometimes I only see them like on the left side and the right side of somebody's auras, but sometimes they're all around the aura, you know, depending on how much somebody got into like trying to block out all the bad, you know, with fear and resistance. So go ahead, melt your resistance walls. And they can definitely be left over from past lives. Because in between lifetimes, you go to heaven, which is awesome and beautiful, but it doesn't wipe the slate clean. It's just like a temporary vacation from what you haven't cleared yet. So a lot of this can be past life resistance, past life fear, past life junk you've been through. So just melt your resistance walls. And you can ask your own angels and use your own wisdom, and gold light anyway doesn't force you, but from what I can hear, the angels are like, there's no such thing as doing too much of this particular technique, because it makes you stronger and safer and more nurtured and more supported. So, you know, you can't overdo it. But anyway, go ahead, melt your resistance walls around you. They tend to be in the 7th layer. I mean, they're really in the outermost part of all auras. But like if you look at it from like a perspective of like the layers of say the physical body aura, maybe they're just in the 7th layer of the physical body aura. But if you have really big walls, then they could be 7, 6, 5, 4. They can, you know, be pretty deep into the aura. Just all this preserved yuckiness. So go ahead, melt your resistance wall. And they can definitely be above you. Here. Couple deep breaths. All right, great job. Woohoo. Great job. You're amazing. Okay, so this part of this is an awareness exercise, but we'll do clearing to enhance it. I think it's good to start just with the awareness. So be grounded. You know, if you're not, you know, recreate your groundings. Have them big, wide, and flowing all the way down to the core of the earth. And stay here, but you know, stay in and around your body. You can even like massage part of your body while you do this so that it maybe is a little more centering, you know. So maybe massage, you know, this part. I think this is like, I hope I don't get it wrong, but I think it's like large intestine 4 right here. It's either small intestine or large intestine 4. That is this meridian that starts there and goes right there, and it goes up your arm. But anyway, you can massage right here if you want as you do this, or massage somewhere else, or just feel your breath. But be aware of the earth's, everything that's happening on the earth. You know, sometimes there's conflict. Obviously, there's conflicts. But there's also, you know, lots of plants growing, lots of trees growing. You know, there are little adorable baby animals. There are lots of little baby animals where people aren't watching, you know, like there are some baby animals that people appreciate, you know, and see, but there's a lot of cool, you know, like beautiful flowers growing that nobody's looking at, you know, and sunrises and sunsets and you know, ocean waves like in my backdrop here, the birds. And you know, as far as people, you know, there are some peaceful people, you know, some nature aligned people. And there are a lot of people that just aren't really rooted very well, centered or grounded, you know, that are kind of spinning their wheels a lot. But you know, there are plenty of people helping others. But, you know, there are people that are channeling invasive energies and harming themselves and harming others. But, you know, just be present, stay here. You don't have to be any of that, but you can be aware of its existence, because those are kind of like different dances going on the planet, or different, you know, waves. And you can be safe and present. Sometimes you might feel like, okay, well, I need to avoid the bad stuff and chase the good stuff, you know? But what if you don't need to do either? Like, what if just sort of you're aligning yourself with the harmonious, beautiful aspects of the earth, you know? So you're here, you're present, and you're just using your quiet, calm wisdom. You're watching, you know, how people are acting and all the benevolent things and the conflict and the malevolent things, and just stay here and breathe and remind yourself that you're safe. So I think sometimes, you know, things can be disturbing, what's happening on the planet. So that could be why you're blocking out awareness of things. But as you block out awareness of things, that could tie up your energy too much to block out awareness. You know, what you could do instead is just clear the triggers, so that then you can be aware of all the different, you know, benevolent and malevolent forces in the Earth's universe, and you know what's growing and changing and how things are flowing. And it you won't have to hide from any of it. So let's clear whatever triggers when you become aware of the universe, right? So of the Earth's. So clear your triggers. We'll say Earth awareness. So not just awareness of nature, but everything on earth. So it includes people who are being compassionate, benevolent, and present, and people who are not, and they're being invasive and whatever. Obviously, it's not so black and white, but whatever. So clear your triggers so that you don't have to block out awareness, right? So go ahead, make a big gold blanket out in front of you and put under the blanket whatever internal stuff triggers when you are aware of what's actually happening on the planet. So put all those triggers out in front of you and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? All the angels are like, yes! Because blocking awareness is not healthy and gentle. So, all right, fine. So just lots of gold light and run gold light through your triggered baggage. The triggers when you are aware of what's going on the earth. And you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this baggage, can you please recycle them? So a couple deep breaths, maybe wiggle your toes. You again could do some self-massage at the same time if you want. You know, nice big red grounding for the base of skull maybe. So again, take some deep breaths and just be aware of yourself. And be aware that you have your own chakras, you have your own auras, you have your own connection to the earth, to the core of the earth. And be aware of, it doesn't have to be overly aware, but be aware of the people on the planet and nature, you know, animals, nature like, you know, oceans and forests, plants, animals. And keep breathing, breathe into every cell of your body. I think sometimes people struggle with maybe just subconsciously, but I'm looking at it in a bunch of people. It's like for abundance, they feel like they need to be noticed, you know, but they kind of are like, hey, look at me, hey, look at me. You know, it's like a struggle thing. Whereas you could just be and allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be noticed. I think the problem with that is then people are like, oh, but all the bad energies are going to notice me. But I think, you know, if you're not like trying to heal everyone on the planet at the same time or anything, if you're just aware of things, but you heal yourself, I think allowing yourself to be seen just saves you energy as opposed to hiding and then like screaming out, hey, look at me. So just keep breathing, breathe into your chakras and allow yourself to be noticed, allow yourself to be seen. You know, allow the benevolent people that are looking for you, that are trying to help and support you in clean, benevolent ways, you know, allow those people to find you. And sometimes, you know, people that are trying to get support, maybe in the form of a new job offer or, you know, just somebody being kind to them and understanding. Sometimes your inner, you know, again, like you're preserving kind of like those ice walls, the resistance walls, you're preserving old times that you were misunderstood or you were disrespected or you were harmed. You're preserving those in your heart, fourth chakra, fourth layer, fourth chakra rivers area. And so that kind of accidentally pushes away new support and new offers of help from, say, a new employer or the universe or people. So let's wash out that any blocks to you receiving support. All right, so I did just explain it. So this is pretty much the doing part, but I'm going to call it the no blocks, which is maybe not the best name, but it's like, that's kind of what it looks like. It's like, you know, when you preserve all the bad things that happen to you rather than just keeping the wisdom, it's like you're saying, no, 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 you know, and so accidentally that's blocking the new good stuff from coming in, you know, the job offers, the people being more understanding, more kind, more thoughtful with you. So let's clear that out, you know, these preserved chunks of awfulness that you've been through that you're kind of like, ah. So we're going to do that from your fourth chakra, fourth layer, and fourth chakra river. So I'll just put fourth, but I really mean, I'll say fourth river, but I mean fourth chakra, fourth river, fourth chakra river in back and in front, and then the fourth layers of your astral body and physical body auras. So green is a great color for your fourth chakra. So you could just imagine both your fourth chakras, shape is open cylinder for all chakras, and just wash out any no blocks, I'm calling them. So it's just like preserve chunks of awful experiences that you've been through. Clear out your no blocks so that you can receive. The idea is that there are benevolent forces, including your angels, that are always trying to give to you, give good things, you know, compassionate things, clean things, and you could accidentally be blocking that. Now, believe me, I'm not trying to victim blame. But it's just how it works. If you save the shitty stuff, then you can't get the good stuff. You get more shitty stuff. So get rid of your shitty stuff. Keep the knowledge from the shitty experiences, but get rid of the like the movie reel from the shitty stuff. Get rid of the saved experience. Don't preserve the shittiness in your space. Flush out the shittiness. Get rid of the no blocks. Any blocks that block you from receiving benevolent, clean things. So fourth layers. Up. So it's like first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer. And fourth layer beneath your feet. Get rid of the shittiness. No blocks. You could also call them resistance blocks. But it's like sometimes you don't even really think of it as resistance. It's just sort of there. You know, it's just anything that's preventing you from receiving good stuff in your fourth layers. Because there's plenty in the universe that can uplift you, you know, the Earth's universe, including, you know, even despite all the wars and awfulness happening, you know, and this way, if you receive the good stuff, you can be stronger. And if you do want to deal with some of the negativity in the world in a more direct way, at least then you have that strength, that additional strength, because it's like the goodness in the earth is kind of supporting you. Right? So just Melt away all that yuckiness from fourth layers, fourth chakra rivers, and fourth chakra. Okay, good job. Okay, I said we would do this. I mentioned it briefly, I think, during the aura repair section, but let's do it. So we've repaired all the auras already, but I have noticed that sometimes people have much more stubborn damage up top. So you have 17 auras. They all go all around you, right? And aura repair is essentially you get rid of the stuff that's not you. So then the gold light makes really good contact with the ripped surface and it grows back and fully heals, right? But if there's just too much junk and it's not clearing well enough, then the gold light doesn't make good enough contact with the ripped parts. And so they don't heal up. So you end up with like this plug of like junk right there. So that's no good. So just be aware of, say the top part of your aura is like that area here to here. And just get rid of the junk. Like you can use sticky gold wax or you could use sticky gold wax. Sticky gold wax it. Just yank it out. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Any foreign junk that's not you right there. Yank it out. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Angels, here you go. You could use gold sandstorm, which is, like spinning bits of gold light coming from your hands, and it can be a little more assertive. So use gold sandstorm up here. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings up here, could you please recycle them? And sometimes it's fun to know, like, okay, which aura is it that is so messed up? So, like, GV, all your Wei Qi auras go all around you, right? And so, of the 15 Wei Qi auras, 12 of them relate to each of the 12 regular meridians. So, meridians like your stomach meridian, your liver meridian, your kidney meridian, stuff like that. And then 2 of them relate to GV and CV meridian. And then one of them, I always get kind of unsure. I think there's one of the extra extraordinary meridians that relates to that 15th one, but whatever. So, GV meridian, is the one that we healed before during the good karma window base of skull points section. Earlier in the healing, we healed this part of the GV meridian. So you can look at the GV meridian in particular and see, do you have a valley there, or is it a nice dome of gold flowy energy? So if you have a valley, just clean out your valley so that you can repair it fully. Go back. You can have hard objects there. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Now hard objects can get in the way of the repair. Urinary bladder meridian, that's one that starts in the inner corner of the eye and goes up and over and back, and it's really cool. It has 4 branches in your back, downward. You can check the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura up there, see if you have a big valley or if it's nice and golden flowy, just that one Wei Qi aura for the urinary bladder meridian. And just freeze whatever's not you there. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. Angels, here. Use gold light and get rid of the hard objects there. Angels, here you go. And just let that meridian, the urinary bladder meridian Wei Qi aura repair fully. Or any hard objects, get rid of them. Angels, here you go. So all the Wei Qi auras are important there, but I just picked out 2 of them that, you know, the actual meridians themselves go through this area, because I feel like those auras would, the quality of those auras would be the most important. But all Wei Qi auras are important everywhere. If I'm going to highlight 2, for example, it would be 2 that actually have energy points right there. All right, good job. Mm-hmm. And how that ties into the theme, I mean, it's good to do no matter what, but it actually does tie into the theme because if you are just you up here and you're nice and flowy, and you don't have a lot of negative shit up here that's like jammed into your aura, then you're more likely to be able to perceive positivity and optimism. Then if you have a lot of garbage there, you can feel very hopeless and very sort of oppressed. So like in oh, I'm gonna forget his name. There's this artist though. It's this really cute song that was popular. I don't know, maybe 5, 8 years ago. That song "Happy," 'cause I'm happy. Oh, what is the name of that artist that sings the song? 'Cause I'm happy. Pharrell Williams, thank you. Thank you, Google. Pharrell Williams. Oh, even better. Pharrell. Pharrell Williams. Okay. So at one point in the song, he says, I'm in a room without a roof. And that's like a very psychic thing. Like if you don't have like a heavy, hard thing right there, you get this feeling of like, oh, you know, oh, like relief, you know? And so some people say that like, oh, it's all blue skies, you know? It's like that idea that you don't have weirdness up here. And it can be very uplifting, very heartening, like we're working on. So thank you for the people. Pharrell Williams, yes. Pharrell Williams song Happy. Okay, good. Okay, so we're gonna turn it into an exercise actually. Sometimes, you know, you're going through grief And if somebody says, you know, and women get this, I don't think men tend to get this, but if you are a guy and you have gotten this before, let me know. You could let me know in the chat. But sometimes women are told to smile, you know, smile. And it can be sort of well-intentioned, or it can be like kind of sexist and insulting. You know, and like if you just, you know, you just are on your way to a funeral, or you know, your loved one just passed away, you're someone commanding that you should smile, even if they mean well, doesn't necessarily land right, you know, and it can it can it can actually be hurtful, like at the moment, you know, it can be like, wow, nobody really understands me, do they? You know, and or it can just be, you know, just sexist because they think that you're supposed to be like some smiling stewardess all the time, you know? But so I think we could use that, like, even if you're not in grief right now, we could think about that. What does trigger when you think of that song? 'Cause I'm happy. I mean, maybe just you just feel happy when you hear that. But maybe there is some, you know, residual grief or residual stress or repressed anger or something that triggers, and it'd be nice to clear, you know, that could help you to feel more enthusiasm and motivation and heart strength, you know, rather than, you know, just saving that shittiness of like, yeah, people don't understand me, or, you know, I feel like shit, you know, like there is grief that is purposeful, you know, like if a loved one passes, you know, to reflect upon that, you know, and stuff. But I think that purposeful grief is not what we're really talking about. What we're talking about is leftover blocks, you know, and heaviness and sort of like, you know, heart draining, kind of debilitating stuff that isn't just, you know, a kind, compassionate send off type vibe, you know. So let's do it. So go ahead and make a big old blanket out in front of you and put onto it any baggage, and it can be just subconscious baggage or other people's energy in your space that triggers when you think of that song, you know, the Pharrell Williams song Happy, or, you know, just that idea that, you know, you could be happy, you know, like maybe there's a lot that triggers with that, you know, maybe just subconsciously, or maybe some relative in your space about that. So just put all that baggage out in front of you. Anything that triggers when you think of the happy song, or you know, just the idea of being happy, what triggers? And then just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into all this? And then go ahead and so then it's just a bunch of baggage with probably cords from other people cording into it. So melt away the cords from other people, melt away all their energy, and melt your own energy out of the baggage with gold light from your hands. And you could blow up the baggage or just keep melting it till it's all gone with gold light from your hands. A couple deep breaths. So again, big gold blanket out in front of you. Well, okay, let's alternate with clearing and nourishing. So we're clearing the triggers, but then we're also doing flowers to nourish, right? So we're going to clear triggers, but then we're also nourishing. Oh. Okay, so we already cleared some triggers, so let's do earth energy, healing energy flowers for yourself. So make your flowers out of universal healing energy as much as you need. Make them gold or rainbow colors or both. You don't have to think about it. And just whatever healing energy vibration that you need to nourish yourself after having cleared some yucky triggers. All right. So make a whole bunch of healing energy flowers, and you can have your angels check them. Say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then go ahead and give them to yourself. So make more energy healing flowers for yourself, whatever healing energy vibration you need. to help you feel nourished after having cleared your happiness triggers. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. Okay, so then let's clear a little bit more. So big gold blanket out in front of you. Put onto it anything that triggers consciously or subconsciously. When you think about wanting to be happy, when you think about a song where somebody's saying how they're happy, when you think about maybe somebody's expectation that you should smile, whatever triggers with all that. And say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? Deep breath. And then go ahead and melt it all with gold light. Melt the cords going into it from other people. And melt your own energy out. And then you can blow up the baggage or just keep melting it fully with gold light from your hand. And one more nourishing with energy healing flowers. So go ahead and give yourself lots of energy, create lots of energy healing flowers for yourself out of universal healing energy. Set it to just the right vibration so you can feel nourished and heartened to strengthen your heart. The angels, can you check my flowers? Give them to yourself. More energy healing flowers for yourself to help you to have strength and happiness when and if you wish. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. Okay, so this one is kind of interesting. So heart chakra, you know, part of like being able to receive and breathe deeply on a physical level, but also just, you know, breathe freely, like psychologically, mentally. You know, you're breathing with your lungs, you're expanding your lungs as you breathe. And it's possible to have a restrictive energy here that just makes everything so tight. And it's funny because, you know, this physical, these bones, you know, they can be called the rib cage, right? Because it's like, it looks a bit like a cage where, you know, your heart and your lungs are in there and everything. And, you know, obviously your bones are there and they protect you, and that's really good. They help your body be upright and all that. So the bones are good. We like the bones. But what if you have like other people's energy and just energy blocks and old resistance and trauma sort of there being like a metaphorical energy cage that's not helping your bones, and it's just kind of oppressing you and tightening that area too much? So we could call that a rib cage pain cage. Or whatever, your pain cage. So we can keep the bones and make them nice and strong and nourish them, but get rid of the pain cage aspect where it's like really tight and limiting, right? And this, again, like I said, it can affect physical tightness, but also just, you know, like psychological feeling. Okay, so just imagine any restrictive energy that's impacting your astral body or your physical body around your rib cage. So your shoulders, your upper torso, around, you know, your spine and your ribs and everything. So any energy that's not yours, it's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and sticky gold wax the whole thing. So that would be invasive people, invasive beings, old traumas and resistance, dumped energy from people, energy devices from people, all that junk. So have the sticky gold wax, stick to all of it and remove, you know, you're going to remove what's healthy and gentle to clear right now. Okay. So you can move it out with the wax. So move all that junk out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And you can just, do physical with your hands, put gold light into these parts of your astral body and your physical body, your rib cage and shoulder area. Lots of gold light. So we did it that way where you lift sort of off all at once with sticky gold wax. We can do it a different way. Just use gold light and imagine any hardness that's not you in and around your shoulders and rib cage area, and kind of freeze it. And then you can crack it open half and half and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. So freeze it all, crack it in half. Angels, here you go. Angels, here you go. And again, physical, just lots of gold light with your hands to both your astral body and your physical body in this area. Okay, we'll try one more time. Think of your rib cage area where all those bones are. But we want to think of anything that's not you in that area, and also your resistance and any invasive energy, and just freeze it all in place, and then you can crack it in half and give both halves to your angels. Angels, there you go. So you may or may not like the cracking in half aspect. You could just do it all solid, sticky gold wax, the whole thing. And then remove all that's not you. Give that to your angels. Angels, here you go. You could crack it open this way too. That's kind of fun. So imagine again a copy of your rib cage area, and think of all that hardness that's not you, that's not good for your bones. And just use gold light. And you're going to remove what's healthy and gentle to do right now, but you can crack it down the middle. Think of that, all that hardness that's not you. Crack it open and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. You can say to angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this clearing, can you recycle them? So think of your rib cage area. You can think of all the energy that's not yours, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of in your shoulders and rib cage area. And crack it open at the sternum. And give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Lots of gold light in this area. Take some deep breaths. See how that feels for you. And let's rib cage, pain cage. I think we're close to the end. We may just be doing one or two more sections. We'll see. So let's unblock receiving zones. So this is basically like you're unblocking all your auras, but it's specific to any blocks that are keeping you from bringing in new energy. And you can bring in new positive change energy in any direction, not just straight down into your 7th chakra, but also straight down into your shoulders or straight into the back of your head. But you want it to be yours, your energy, or like good karma energy from the universe, or, energy this way, energy this way, energy this way. So even, around your legs. So basically all your auras are receiving zones. So you just unblock them enough so that that's possible, that you can bring in your own positive change energy from any aura location. And I guess while we're at it, you know how we like broke open the blocks in around your rib cage and gave them to the angels? We could do that for your whole body too. So just, all your whole body, just have that healthy and gentle intention, right? And gold light through your whole body, physical body and astral body, and just think of any energy that's not yours, that's restrictive and in the way, and it's healthy and gentle to get rid of. And if you want, you can break it in half and give it to your angels. Or just give it without breaking it in half. For some reason, I like that breaking it in half thing. So gold light through your whole body. Be aware of what's healthy and gentle to get rid of. That's restrictive and in the way. And freeze it up with the gold light. Break it in half. Give it to your angels. Just here you go. All right, and more unblock receiving zones. Above your shoulders. All right, good enough. Okay, so one way you can be accidentally weakening your heart energy is to be pissed off at the universe. And I mean the Earth's universe, not like all planets or whatever. But, you know, the way things work and people, and, you know, you can be kind of disgusted with it all or pissed off about it all. And it's pretty debilitating to be that pissed off. I mean, it doesn't mean that you love everything. Like you love, you know, genocide and you love racism and all that. You know, that's not what I mean. You know, you don't have to make peace with racism and genocide, you know, and fascism. But I mean, like sometimes just because you have kind of a righteous anger about, say, racism, you could be angry with the whole planet accidentally. And that will, it's like then you're accidentally picking a fight with the whole earth for no good reason. And it just weakens you and it bums you out. And again, if you do want to make positive change, even just in your own life, but also, you know, in society or whatever, you need all the strength you can get, you know? So this whole making peace with the universe, again, it doesn't mean you're okay with racism. It just means that you watch everything, and as an observer, you can have your serenity and observe all that happens. And then, you know, then you can make mindful choices to work towards something. And you can decide, okay, well, what's the best way for me to do that? And, you know, but if from the get-go, you're so pissed that it's like you kind of growl at the earth and everything on the earth, it just sours your heart and weakens you unnecessarily. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. It's like a big picture piece. Even if you really feel like you want to be a part of positive change, you know, you can't like accidentally hate everything. I mean, you know, you could, but it's going to really weaken your heart energy and make it hard for you to be your strongest self. I hope that makes sense. That was explaining. Let's do it. So it's just going to be clearing blocks so that you can make peace with the universe at large. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you and put onto it any baggage that you have that triggers causing you to be either pissed off at the whole world or sad about the whole world or afraid of the whole world, you know, any kind of like global inner angst. with the entire world. And just put all that baggage out in front of you and on the blanket and say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Angels are like, yes. Yeah, because being in conflict with everything on the planet, that's going to weaken you. So go ahead, use lots of gold light, melt cords from other people out of this baggage. And go ahead and melt the baggage. You can say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle them? So again, it doesn't mean that, everybody on the planet is a saint and you want to hug everybody on the planet. It just means that you don't have like globalized emotional imbalances with the whole planet. You're not like, pissed off at the whole planet or scared of the whole planet or whatever. Okay. So let's do that again, because the planet's going to keep being the planet and, may as well not fight it. So just lots of big gold blanket up front of you, put onto it all your baggage that causes you to have inner conflict and be super triggered about the Earth's universe. So just put all your baggage out there on your blanket. Say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Lots of gold light. And melt this baggage. All right, good job, good job, good job. So again, let's just do a little bit of an awareness exercise. Be present, just be yourself. Have your auras, have your physical body, have your astral body, have your groundings. Keep breathing. How do you feel? You can imagine your creative rings up above you, above your astral body head, and make a copy of them out in front of you and just relax your creative rings, melt any cords, melt any hard blocks around your creative rings. Let the flaps relax and fall shut. So it's a nice smooth gold ring. 3 gold rings. All right, and just be aware of now that you have your awareness, and if you need to like massage yourself at the same time so that you don't like become the earth and everything on it, just stay where you are, stay present. But go ahead and be aware of the earth and all the oceans and all the land masses, all the animals, all the plants. Take your deep breaths, stay here. And be aware of the people. Stay here. Deep breath. There are people of all different ages, people of many, many, many different cultures. You can be aware of the oceans, the trees. And you can be aware a little bit of like presentience. Like, you know, if the earth is a bunch of ships, you know, and different people and different energy shifts, you know, they're like ships on the water, and you see the direction that different ships are going. You know, you can just kind of be aware of that. So that like you kind of know what waves you want to ride and what waves you want to duck. And you don't have to like have really exact knowledge of that. You can let your angels guide you, you know? So I'm going to let my angels guide me forward on my path. But sometimes, you know, being aware of what else is happening and not fighting it, you know, just being separate, being safe, being strong, and don't fight what is happening with other people and with nature. You can observe, and you can also, you know, of course, be true to your purpose. You know, what are you here in this lifetime to do? An experience. Couple deep breaths. All right. So as we wrap up, you can ask your angels to help you wrap up this healing. Ask your angels to help you let go of any energy that's triggered. Ask your angels to help you to have a good day or evening or morning, whatever's next. You can ask your angels to help you with your enthusiasm, motivation, and heart strength, heart wellness. All right. Good job, you guys. You're amazing. Woohoo. All righty. Okay, so let's I'm going to take a bathroom break, but when I come back, then I'll do a stretch break for a minute. I'll do some stretching, and if you want, you can of course do your own stretching at that time if you want to. It's not a guided stretching thing. It's just an I'm doing stretching thing. You can too. But anyway, and then when I come back after the stretch break, I'll do 30 minutes where we do chat. If you want to just say hi, if you have any comments about how the healing was for you or comments about the theme. If you wanted me to look at something for you, I would suggest that you do it in like the most empowered way, which I would suggest would be that you state your issue and you kind of read it yourself first, and then I can comment on your read on it, basically. So you kind of self-assess, like, okay, well, here's my issue and here's what I think I should work on with it. You know, here's how I think I should approach it or what's going on in my aura with that. And, here's what I should do about it. And then that way I can comment on that and validate your own ability to read yourself. And so anyway, that's that. But let's do a bathroom break first, and I will get rid of the camera so you can enjoy the background better while I'm gone. Hey, I'm back. So now I'm gonna do a minute of stretching. You can stretch too if you want. Whatever level of stretching is gentle for you. Alrighty, hello. Okie dokie. So if you have any comments about how the healing was for you, or comments about the theme, or one of the techniques we did, you could comment it now if you want. Alrighty, I'm gonna look and see what comments I have not read yet. Thank you for all my comments at the start of the stream. I was so underwhelmed I had no comments. So then my lurkers became chatters and I got more comments. Thank you so much. It actually, I mean, it's just fun, you know, but then too, it helps the stream, you know, even if you just like put an emoji or something. It helps you to think that it's a better stream, which I guess would make logical sense, except that it's a meditative spiritual thing. So the amount of chat comments doesn't mean spiritually it's more valid, but YouTube was not designed with spiritual stuff in mind. So anyway, long story short, feel free to put comments. It helps the stream. Okay. Someone says I can see and hear you. Thank you. I read that already. I can see and hear you. Currently on a boat in Utah. Perfect clouds just came in to cover the sun. 86 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a little warm. We might be that too, though. Right now, I haven't looked at the thermometer, but we're supposed to get up actually almost to that today. Well, I hope you stay cool enough. Someone says, hello, joining from D.C., Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States. It is raining and misty. Interesting. Hello from Blue Skies, Ottawa, Canada. Happy to do the aura repair leftover hardness technique. Yeah, 100% have black all down the right edge of one of my auras. Repeated the live stream 3 times for this technique. Repeated the live stream 3 times for this technique. Oh, I see. You rewind. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Got it. Well, I'm glad it helped. So it says, hello, Janet from you said your name and it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Ouch. That's a bit hot, but you guys have told me it's not unusual for you guys to have over 100 degrees. I know that now. I didn't know that before. So it says, hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. You are welcome. This is hi from Skokie, Illinois, which is north of Chicago. Is it north or northwest of Chicago? Well, whatever. It's definitely north. 80 degrees Fahrenheit and cloudy. I'm waiting. Someone says, I'm waiting for job offers post interviews. Oh, you've had interviews and you're waiting for the offers. There are 2 positions, but it's taking a while. I've been clearing my mom out of my space. Is there anything else I can do to move the process along? I have been working on heart strength for my own willingness to go back to work, as that's what I read. Anything you recommend? Okay, so the issue is, what the heck? I need a job. I like these jobs. I would like one or both of these to become offers. But it's taking a while, and I've already interviewed. So the big things happen first on the astral before they happen in the conscious realm. So you could read if they've decided on the astral or not, because if they haven't decided on the astral, then they haven't decided yet, you know, and it's not like I mean, you can look at like, is there an issue with you, but it doesn't look like it's an issue with you. It just looks like, internally, like somebody needs to finalize the decision, but they're on vacation or something, or they're doing something. Someone who wasn't like directly involved with the interviews needs to okay stuff, and they're blowing off the process right now, either because of vacation or death in the family or whatever. It's just like they're just kind of not with it. They don't have your sense of urgency. For them, it's just more work to do. Um, so yeah, I think it's just the universe teaching you patience, basically. I mean, is there anything you can do to increase your chances of acceptance? It looks like that's already, like, whatever they're deciding, it's already decided. It's just that there's somebody that needs to, like, put their little stamp of approval on it, like some kind of a bureaucracy kind of a thing. Um, so I don't think working heart strength helps move the process along. I think, you either got the jobs or you didn't. Well, I mean, nobody's gotten the job yet. Like on the astral, it hasn't, it's not, it's like a sentence that doesn't have a period yet. And like the T isn't crossed and the I isn't dotted. So it's like they need to finish. But yeah, there's what you could do is you can keep handing the situation to your angels. Like imagine it like you can imagine each job separately and hand them to your angels, or imagine like the whole process of your job search and just hand it to your angels, and say, angels, can you handle it? Because sometimes you can kind of get a little bit in the way. I don't see that you're super in the way, but you may be slightly in the way. And also if you just give it to your angels, it frees up your energy. And so you're not like holding your breath. Because right now I would say you're holding your breath. Interesting. Yeah, because we literally did a holding your breath thing, clear energy blocks that cause you to hold your breath around finances, including jobs, things like that. So there's an exact chapter on it. Not that you would need that, you can make your own walkthrough, but if you want me to verbally walk you through it, you just need to go to the healing that we did before this one, the healing 1 of 3. And they're all in the same playlist, which is linked in the info section of this live stream / video. Make sure my mic, there we go. So yeah, you clear holding your breath blocks. That could be nice. And also hand it to your angels. Hand the whole thing to your angels, the whole job search to your angels. I think you do have your boundaries with your family regarding your job search, so that's nice. Yeah, so I think you could just work on, your overall presence and, heart strength you can work on just for many reasons. But I don't think in this particular job situation, it's, I mean, the whole clearing and holding your breath blocks helps you, but, and handing it to your angels, but that's all. Hope that helps. But yeah, as far as hurrying the process, there's nothing you can do about it. It's their own dramas. Someone says, let go of the no. I'm totally giggling while I do this healing technique. Yeah, that was funny. Funny, weird. Yeah, just anything that, yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like people are like, no, the resistance and the whatever. So yeah, accidentally block good things that way. All right, then yes, Pharrell Williams song, Room Without a Room. Room Without, oh, and then there is a lyric in there that says a room without a roof. Yeah. It says, I cried from triggered blocks to the clear the no section. I felt better at the top of or repair. This happens often enough that I stop after the 4 essentials usually. I guess I need these sections more. I'm not completely sure what you're saying. You cried from the triggered blocks to the clear the nose section. Felt better at the top of the aura repair. This happens often enough that I stop after the 4 essentials usually. I guess I need these sections more. So I think you're saying that it kind of is unpleasant, like the other parts of the healing, maybe? It's like overwhelming for you? But the 4 essentials is not overwhelming? I'm not quite clear on that, but I would say for you, it looks like there are some invasive beings that just kind of play head games with you, and it's easy enough to trigger somebody to make them cry, which you wouldn't think so. Like that seems so weird, you know. Like, but I used to know a guy that did that. I don't think he did it on purpose. Exactly. I mean, he didn't. He did it on. He was a controlling person. But I don't think his goal was to make people cry when they talk to him. Like I've said this before. It's like when I would talk to him, even if it was about something simple, I would start crying like every goddamn time. And it was, you know, very embarrassing. But I eventually realized he was courting my creative rings. And so it like kind of flooded all the flaps open and so much invasive energy came in. It was just completely overwhelming. So I think you have a couple beings that do that, to, you know, because you could clear a lot of energy if you could like rock the techniques as we're doing them, because it's more of like a protected space when you're getting the healing, you know, you like, and so I think they're just trying to make it a traumatic thing for you so you don't get in the zone and kind of really surf it and enjoy it. So it looks similar, like they're just like holding open your creative rings so that, you know, so a lot of energy that's not you floods through. So I would just say, I mean, just recycle those beings that are doing that, because you could like, yeah, you could, okay, extra purple grounding for your creative rings and like make sure the flaps are shut, you know, and just keep taking breaks and double checking your creative rings and purple grounding and earth energy for your creative rings and flaps shut and everything. But you can just, you know, recycle keep lining up, imagining and recycling having your angels recycle any invasive beings that are trying to make the healing viewing experience overwhelming for you. You know, imagine those invasive beings, just say, angels, can you recycle them? You know, any invasive beings that are trying to overwhelm you and discourage you from meditating, basically. So imagine the invasive beings trying to make, you know, energy work overwhelming for you, and watching a live stream overwhelming for you, and just line them all up and say, angels, can you recycle all those beings? Hope that makes sense. But that's something that, you know, you could keep track of and keep recycling the invasive beings, because I don't think it's really on your family's radar. Like they're often invasive, but I think as far as you meditating, I don't think any of them really think about it one way or another. Like, oh, let's make her not meditate. You know, it's more just invasive beings trying to keep their spot in your chakras. So I hope that makes sense. It's just a bunch of beings playing head games with you. But it's a good thing that you mention it. We can keep track of that, see how you progress with that. Hope that helps. Someone says, hi, Janet, thank you. I'll definitely be revisiting this healing. Do my angels have any advice about running the Chicago Marathon in October? I think they said, see, thank you. You read it first. Okay. I think they said you can do it, and also don't overtrain. Yeah. Yeah, I think your hearing is really accurate. That's funny. Two, I think maybe it's just an exercise in like free will, but they want you to look at also like, and this answer can be dependent on the weather that day and, you know, how you're doing that week, or, you know, multiple factors. But it seems like they also want you to read, like, because you could run it and stop halfway through, or run 3/4 of it, or run the whole thing. And they're like, well, you know, you should read that in advance. Like, okay, at this point, what would be healthiest for me? Like, if the marathon were tomorrow, would it be healthiest for me to run it the half marathon, or 3/4 of the marathon, or the whole marathon? And, you know, so that it's not like some arbitrary distance and it's all or nothing, you know, because there's a lot of like social thing of like, oh, I finished it, you know. But they're like, you don't have to give into that social pressure. Just do what's healthiest for you. And they kind of like that as an ongoing intuitive thing just for you to practice, so that you don't like get peer pressured into doing the whole thing when 3/4 of the marathon would be like perfect for you and your body, for example. But it depends on the heat. It depends heat that day. Depends on, you know, factors leading up to the marathon and all that. So, but they kind of like that as you read it on an ongoing basis as you prepare and train. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, the rest of it was spot on. It was this, hello, what technique did Marilyn? Oh, okay, yeah, your mom. You can just say my mom and then her initials, so I don't accidentally read her name. I try not to read people's names out loud, just because I want to respect people's privacy. What did my mom like best? Realizing nature and peaceful things. She liked best the melting the walls, that ice thing. When I talked about how, you know, like when they go up to the North Pole and they take these ice samples, and they can find out what the atmosphere of the Earth was like, you know, a meter down into the ice sample and everything, and that your resistance walls are kind of like that. You're preserving past traumas, and it kind of flavors your perspective and what you're able to experience and receive. And she liked that idea of, you don't want to save that. You just want to save the knowledge, but you want to get rid of all these, you know, preserved trauma walls. She liked that a lot, especially up top, that the walls can be all around you, including up top, these trauma walls, and you can melt them. She liked that a lot. And she likes the V thing, unblocking the auras in that V pattern to lessen pressure around the neck and shoulders. Someone says, love from Australia. Thank you. Very pretty emojis. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I feel a tiny bit irritable. My assessment is aura damage from wax from my former coworker. You mentioned their initials. I think she's in my space. My mom could be in my space too. Any advice what to work? Okay, so your issue is that you feel a little irritable, and your read on it is aura damage and 2 people involved in that. Yeah. I think that's accurate. I think, you know, I think the coworker, she ripped up your space, and then she was sort of like a drive-by shooter, you know? She did it and then she left. So she's not really around anymore. But, you know, once you have those rips, then invasive energy can kind of blow in and spin around and be irritable. So I think it's just the invasive energy that has come in because your auras are ripped. And then your mom is more able to cord some energy blocks because of that aura damage. It's just like there's less to get through to get to the blocks. So your mom is currently involved in it, although she didn't cause that. That was that former coworker you mentioned. So yeah, so yeah, so it's pretty clear what to work based on that, aura repair, melting the blocks that your mom is cording. That's it, pretty much. Your chakras are fine. It didn't go that deep, in part because you got the healing. One side of your grounding is more blocked than the other. You could kind of check that. Compare front to back, left to right of your grounding so you can find low zones and work on those, unblock those. Someone, I think that's an emoji for the stretching thing. Someone says, thanks for the healing. I feel my angels super close to me. Oh, that's nice. It was while making peace with the universe. I noticed feeling closer to my angels fades away and doesn't last as long, like when Tinkerbell dust doesn't last long for them to fly. Mentioning Tinkerbell makes me go back to childhood trauma once again. I think my angels want me to start working more on that as my main focus. Thank you. Well, I mean, your angels are always that close to you. It's just that I think you have this, you put the resistance walls up. Like you're confusing resistance walls with strength. So it's not, I don't think that they were more present around you than any other time. It's just that, you block it a lot of the time. So yeah. So you could just work on not doing that. I mean, that's good though. I mean, you can focus on the positive aspect of how good that felt and then understand that that could be your new default. You can work towards that becoming your new default, that you feel that supported by your angels 24/7, literally. Because that's possible. So if that makes sense. But yeah, the whole Tinkerbell dust doesn't last long, yada yada. It's just your walls. You make walls accidentally because of fear and sadness and resistance. So your self-assessment of working on your childhood trauma. Yeah, I mean, I think you have several. You don't even have to know what it is. You can just clear blocks that you've been avoiding. It's like this funny thing where you don't work stuff because you think you're not strong enough to do it, but that weakens you. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you just work on like the healthy and gentle amount, like what's healthy and gentle to clear right now of baggage from the shittiest things I've ever experienced in my life, and so that baggage would be like this big, but what's healthy and gentle to clear of that would be this big. If you clear that and then do it again and clear that again and then clear that again, now you have a little breathing room you didn't have before. You just pick the healthy and gentle amount of the shittiest things. Because it's not, what makes someone feel better is not a state of perfection, it's a state of progress. So what helps and what's encouraging, what helps the heart is that sense that you're making progress. It's not like, oh yes, no, I've overcome all trauma I've ever been through and I'm as strong as I could possibly be. No, that's not it. It's just the fact that you're this much stronger and you have this much less shit. There you go. Yay for me. So I hope that makes sense. But that's cool that you felt that good. And you know, maybe those techniques would be good to repeat. Melting the no walls and the resistance walls and whatever we want to call them, the ice walls, trauma walls. Someone says, thank you, makes sense and helps to know. You're welcome. I don't remember what you're thinking me about, but let's see. Oh, yeah. About watching the live stream and the beings messing with you, trying to get you to not meditate and not watch live streams. Yeah. Yeah, it was so wild when I finally figured out what was happening with that guy. Like, I had a therapist that did that too, by accident, but I had like 2 therapists. One I went to and it was just the best match ever. And then, but she left out of town. And back in those days, this is ages ago, back in those days, there wasn't like online counseling, you know? Well, I guess now too, you know, you have to be licensed in certain states and blah, 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 blah. It's all complicated. But anyway, she moved to across the country and so she said, well, you can go to my colleague for therapy if you want. And her colleague that she recommended was not able to have as good boundaries with me as she was working with me. And so she ended up courting here a lot and courting me and during the sessions. And so I had to clean her out a lot. And when I realized that finally, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to graduate myself from therapy now. Because it's kind of counterproductive if you get so many cords while you're trying to clear your stuff. But anyway, it's always interesting because nobody does it on purpose. Most people don't even know what creative rings are, But it can have a really big effect on you if invasive beings or indoor people are courting there. Like makes you want to break down. All right. Somebody says, thank you, Janet. I conked out for this entire healing. I think angels are okay with me planning a business with, and you mentioned that person's name, but need to not neglect my business or do too much too fast. Any other angel advice? Well, I'm not clear if, okay, like you work in an organization with other people currently that you're not in charge of. So you're considering making an organization that you are in charge of that involves other people. And then are you also going to just do your own thing on your own professionally? So it'd be like you're moving from A to B and C. And so then if that's the case, you're moving to a B and C combo, then it seems like your angels just want you to have clarity on what is the purpose of B and what is the purpose of C for like you personally. What are you getting out of it? What are the pros and cons of each one? So I don't know if that helps, but that's what I'm seeing. Someone says, oh, and then that person says yes, and decrease time at the place where I'm not in charge. Yeah, A. Yeah. Yeah. So they just think, look at it from like neutral. and just see, kind of like what we did today, where you observe all the dances and the waves going on the planet, and you observe. So they're like kind of have that sort of impartiality and observe, what are the pros and cons of B, and what are the pros and cons of C, and what are the pros and cons of doing both at the same time, just so that you're clear on your intentions and what you want out of each one. And yeah, that's all. Okay, well, cool. I'll do a little garden update. Let's see, I'll change scenery for that one. So, garden update. Surrounded by greenery. So the garden update, I did some planting yesterday. My thing now is I used to, in previous years, I used to exhaust myself by trying to do gardening like in the heat. Like the front yard, it's like this big wood chipped garden, and the wood chips, it's like a sauna. Like it just sends the heat like at you when you're there. So it's like so much warmer. It's like a big solar oven there in the front yard where the garden is. And so now I'm much smarter about it, and I just wait until the whole yard is in shade, because now we have a lot of daylight. So it doesn't really get dark until like 9:30, 9:45, maybe even 10 o'clock if I'm working near the porch light. So I can like work late. So I wait till the sun goes down, and then it's in shade, the front yard garden. And then I don't have a lot of time. It's not like I have all day to work that way, but at least then I'm not killing myself in the sun. So that's been really nice. Because man, I went through like endurance tests, like trying to garden and water everything and do everything in the sun in previous years, but I just don't think it's worth it. They could just wait, go out at 5 o'clock or whatever, when it's finally all in the shade. So that's good. And I finally planted the first 2 tomato plants of the summer in the ground, which is exciting. So the cherry tomatoes went in the ground. I have another cherry tomato that I didn't plant, which, it was my thing of just having extras, but not too many extras. So we'll see if I find a spot for that or not. We probably don't need more cherry tomatoes, but I could give them away to neighbors maybe. But usually people want more of the full-size ones. So I don't know. We'll see if I ever plant that little other cherry tomato. But anyway, and then I'm still preparing enough garden spots to put all the kale in the ground. It's a bunch of work to, get rid of the weeds and whatever plants. Because sometimes I'm getting rid of plants that aren't useful to me, to just have the space for stuff I want to have in the garden. So anyway, that's a work in progress. And what else? Oh, the bean plants are indoors. I started bean plants indoors, and I showed like a little image. I showed one of them at the end of last healing. And I finally last night I culled out the one, because I planted several bean seeds in a pot, to make sure I get a good one. And then I had to, snip off the ones that I'm not keeping. So there's just one per pot now. And that I get like all weird about that. Like I feel guilty getting rid of good plants, So what I did is I potted out like 6 more. So now I have 18 bean plants, which is definitely probably more than I need, but at least it's not too little, So then with that, and then I was comfortable with pulling out all the extras and all the. So there's 18 bean plants. They all have their own pot. They're all happy now. The transplant went well. So that's good. So then now they're just going to grow a little more, get better roots, and then I'll put them in the ground when they're ready. Hopefully by then I will have all the tomatoes in the ground. But we'll see. We'll see. Got to get the kale in the ground, the tomatoes in the ground, then the beans in the ground. And then I have a bunch of perennials that I've grown that I want to get in the ground. But anyway, I'm going to try to relax and not freak out because, you know, I can only plant one plant at a time, you know, so to chill out. Izzy. Lorenzo, if you're listening. Oh, wait, I'll fix it. Never mind. I'll fix it. He managed to get his cone off somehow. I'll show him now. Let's see. So here's Izzy, a little troublemaker. He managed to get his cone off, so he was doing God knows what. So anyway, there he is. Izzy, come here. You gonna be a good boy? Yeah. Are you gonna be a good boy? Yeah. Yeah. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? Izzy, no. No. All right. So it's a good excuse to wrap up the stream anyway. I gotta take him outside. But you guys are amazing. Thanks for the garden emojis. That's cute. All right, bye. Have a good evening, morning, whatever's next for you.